very much for your submission.
No problem.
Very
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Vicki, do you want to go?
So I don't get out of it now, do I? That's all right. I can actually see why.
Are you waiting for someone else?
No, it's all good. She'll be
Okay.
sweet. I'll just tell her I bluffed it. No, it's all good. Just interesting. I see there my name's spelt Vicki Paton. It's probably good.
I know.
Isn't it
It's
tremendous?
incorrect.
Well, it is a tad, but I was grateful that I didn't get into DHB because they spelt my name like that. So, you know, there are actually some benefits of getting my name spelt incorrectly.
Well,
but that's okay. I won't slash my wrists and bleed all over the wooden floor. It could be a bit messy. I guess the reason for my being here is actually with regards to the potential closure of the Akaroa and Lyttelton service centres. Look, you know, it's really awkward, isn't it? I mean, I've gone through and had a look, and I do understand why the decision has been made to take that into consideration. I mean, if you've got something, you've got to make sure it's cost effective and all the details that go with it. I do wonder, though, when a business isn't profitable, usually you go through and do a health check, and I know many of you will understand that, and you check to see what's actually wrong, how we can make that actually more beneficial and obviously, you know, profitable, which is a really big deal when you're in the council as well. There is a little bit of a concern there because, you know, best practice is to ensure that the ratepayers are covered with all the bits and pieces and all the services and needs that are required. It seems to me that, you know, just giving you a short education for those people that don't actually, aren't familiar with Lyttelton. It was actually, the bridle path itself was constructed in 1850, in the late 1850s, and it was the first path that actually the people used to go from Lyttelton to Christchurch. So it's now turned itself around, and I'm sitting here grovelling trying to get the service centre kept open. So, you know, the bridle path does actually have a lot of historical things about it, but so does Lyttelton, and I do feel that maybe, and I wasn't party to obviously the discussions that everybody had about getting rid of the service centre, but I do maybe think that it might be a little bit hasty to totally eradicate its existence. So when we were talking to the Business Association, we have nearly 100 members, if not more, in climbing, which is a really good indication that there's now a lot of people that are working from home. There's a lot of businesses there. In the discussion with them, a lot of them are actually now showing a huge growth in their businesses as well, which is pretty unusual in the current climate that we've had to experience. And we cannot say that that's all due to tourists because, of course, we haven't really had tourists. So a lot of that has been local, using local. The thing about it is that there is a number of full service centres available. Why didn't this happen to some of them? Why didn't they get reduced? And I'm guessing it's numbers. There was a number of upgrades that were made to the existing service centres. Why were our ones neglected? You know, maybe some of those numbers that you get are from people like Governor's Bay that go to Beckenham. That makes sense. You drive over from Governor's Bay to Beckenham. I wonder if the discussion has been made that, you know, for Lyttelton and Akaroa to use the service centres in the other areas, they're going to actually have to catch 2 buses. Has anybody caught a bus? Do they know how much 2 buses cost? Yeah, I love buses. Sorry? So, yes, if you do it within a certain period of time, but that doesn't make up for the fact it's still 2 buses. And if you're an elderly person that's got a disability, that would suck. Internet and phone connection is often limited in All Banks Peninsula, especially in some of the pockets. Are you aware of that? Andrew, do you actually get phone reception up there? I know I sold you the house years ago, but can't remember if the phone worked up there or was that a long time ago? Okay, but any further up past Andrews, you're probably pretty shot. We're encouraged to bike. Now, I know that's a bone of contention with the council, totally understand it, but we have no cycleways. And judging by the size of me and the age of me, biking over the bridle path is not going to work. In fact, it's going to look pretty stupid. We now have 5 petrol stations down Ferry Road, inclusive of the 4 newly built ones. Is that a juxtaposition? I can't figure that out. We're encouraged to use cycleways, but our carbon footprint is actually being compromised. I've got a solution. A number of people I've spoken to have got a solution, and really that's what it's about. Cut the cable, for those that don't know what that is. I'm not going to apologise for using the term, but maybe, James, you could explain to the people that aren't from Christchurch what cut the cable is at some stage. Or maybe put us back to Banks Peninsula Council. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? Or is it? Reduce the number of hours or days that the service centres are open. And I mean all of them, not just Akaroa and Banks Peninsula, Lyttelton. It's a thought. because, you know, for every hour you take off all the others, that might give us an hour. Make Aotearoa and Lyttelton full service centres with reduced hours, car registrations, postal services, etc. Market those services, rationalise the work job share, employ someone to work a couple of days in one place and another. I think they call it seagulling. Cross-train the staff. Some library part-timers might want to do it. Ensure that the CC person is on site once a month, because that'd be pretty cool to actually see someone's face. Taking into consideration the Lyttelton Harbour Business Association has a growing membership, maybe it's time for us to consider the organisation is actually quite keen to work with decisions that are made in our council, with some matters, and obviously with a positive solution, because that's what we want, is positive results. Rather than me coming in and being reactive, it'd be really cool for us to be proactive. And look, taking into consideration it's a unique geographic isolation, separated by nature. It's just a fact. Or maybe we could just regard Lyttelton and Aotearoa service centres as our cycleways. Just a thought. Thank you very much. Was there any questions? Can I leave now?
We've come to the end of the time, but thank you, Vicki. That's a very very clear submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And I think we will be looking at what options are available, you know, in terms of, as you say, hot desking and other arrangements that can be made.
But a creative accounting,
I would
maybe?
say hot desking rather than
But
seagulling.
hot desking's a good
over
example.
in Lyttelton, you'd probably say seagulling.
Yeah,
Does
seagulling.
that mean something else?
Yeah. Well, I thought about it, and I thought, well, maybe, you know, someone on the staff could actually become a JP, and then I realised that I am one, and you don't get paid for it, so that's probably not going to be very useful.
No, I don't know that you'd be paying rent for doing JP services.
No.
It's a tremendous service to the community, so thank you for that.
But promise me we won't lose our library, because
can't
I will
promise you-
slash my
I
wrists
can't
and bleed all
promise
over
you
the floor.
anything.
So Jamie and anybody else that might consider it, please don't lose our library.
We are taking all matters into account, and
Thank
we have
you.
many more submissions to go. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Thank you.